Welcome to my declutter series. Today we are doing my face palette collection. I hope you guys are ready for a brand new cutthroat declutter. I have been doing a decluttering series here on my channel. If you have not already checked out my previous videos, I've been decluttering things like foundation, eyeshadow palettes, highlighters, bronzers, literally my entire collection. And I've been pretty cutthroat, if I do say so myself. So get ready for another cutthroat declutter. I do want to really quickly mention I am doing mystery box giveaways right now on each one of these declutter videos. So I saved up a bunch of unused makeup for you guys and I packed them all away into boxes, and I've been picking winners from each one of these videos. So to enter, all you have to do is be subscribed to my channel and then just leave a comment down below. It can be any comment whatsoever, and then just leave somewhere for me to contact you in that comment, and I will choose a winner after each one of these videos goes up. So let's go ahead and get into my face palettes. The first one here is from Pop Beauty. This is their Supernova palette, and this one's fun, but I really don't use a lot of like bright highlights like this anymore. I used to, but I really go for like more minimal highlights, if that. So I don't think I need this one. I'm gonna declutter it. We've got over here up next, this one here is their MIDI palette, and it's an electric palette. So in here we have a blush, a bronzer, and a highlight. This is the Blissful Blush, and I believe this is the Cocoa Bronzer. Yeah, so I actually have those in a couple of duos, and I prefer to reach for duos over like these trios like this, so I will declutter this one as well. I've got another one here. This is from MUA Professional Makeup Academy, and it is a like bronzing highlighting palette. This one is really light. I do like a light look for my highlights like I was saying, but the bronzer in here I really can't use on my skin tone, so I just don't think I'm gonna get a lot of use out of this one, so I'll pass it to someone who will. I have this one here from Lancome. This is their Starlight Sparkle palette. I know that this one was limited edition, a holiday release. It was a really pretty palette, and I did get a lot of use out of this one, but it's been a long time since I've reached into it, and since it was limited edition, I am going to declutter. I honestly forgot this was even in my collection. This was the Urban Decay Game of Thrones palette, another gorgeous highlighting palette that I really haven't reached for in a very, very long time. I honestly forgot about this one in my collection, so I'm gonna declutter it. Sorry, you're hearing my phone go off there. Let's go ahead and continue. I've got this one here from e.l.f. This is a duo, and this one actually I only keep in my collection honestly for like nostalgia because it's called St. Lucia, and that's where I went on my honeymoon with my husband. I've kept it a long time for that very reason, but honestly I don't ever reach for it, so I am going to say goodbye to it as well. Let's talk about one that I definitely will be keeping. This is from Maybelline. I love this palette, you guys. I get so much use out of it. You can tell I actually have almost hit pan in this shade right here. This is called their Master Bronze Palette. I know I have seen it available on Amazon, but I don't think I've really seen it in store, but it's such a good palette. I use all three of these bronzing shades, and I also love the highlight in here. It's so pretty. This is one I reach for a lot, so I will be keeping. I am also going to be keeping my Shade and Lights palettes. Now, when I got this, it was KVD Vegan Beauty, but it still has the Kat Von D like logo on here. I'm assuming they're just trying to like use up the packaging, but I was late to the train with this one. I know it's been, oh my god, I can't even get it open. It's been a staple for so many people for so long, and I just like never ended up purchasing it, but it's really good. I really like it. I love this shade right here, especially for like sculpting, and this is really nice for setting the face, and I really like that banana powder as well. So I do use this one, and I am going to keep it. Next I have from MAC, this is their Ignite Wonder Face Palette. This one, I just love this collection in general. I thought it was such a well done collection. I love the packaging, it's so pretty. I'm debating on keeping it honestly just for the packaging, and also I love these highlights in here. I think they're so gorgeous. I think I am going to keep it because it is pretty and I do like it. I won't say it's my most used, but it is a nice highlighting palette. I have from Gerard Cosmetics one of their palettes. I believe this is called the Starlet Honeymoon palette, and this is a nice formula. I feel like it's a little bit sheer though. It's kind of light, and every time I go into this I feel like I really have to like build up the shades, so I'm just gonna go ahead and pass that one along. Charlotte Tilbury, we have her Film Star Bronze and Glow palette. I really do like this one a lot. I think it's beautiful. It's really nice and soft. I feel like it's one of those, when I wear it, I just feel like it looks just natural on my skin. So you have a bronzing shade and then also a highlight. I love the packaging as well. It's like so luxe, so I will be keeping this. I just realized I have another one of these palettes from the MUA Professional. It looks like this one is just like a full bronzing palette. It does look like I've used this one a lot, but honestly I can't tell you the last time I have used it. I think I'm gonna get rid of it. From the brand Decay, we have their Everglow Metallic Palette, and this one has highlights in it. So this one is actually a really nice formula. I do really like it a lot. The problem with these face palettes a lot of times though is I feel like I only use like 1 to 2 of the shades, and then the other ones are like obviously geared towards deeper skin tones, and I don't love having like this bulky of a palette in my collection if I'm only going to use like this shade. So I am going to declutter this one. It's a bummer because it is a really great formula. I'd love to have it in like a single. From Urban Decay, I have their Naked palette. This is the Stay Naked Threesome, and to be honest with you, I actually really like this palette. I like it a lot. I like the colors in here. I think it works really well, but I hate that it's all one palette. Like there's no divots in the packaging, and so everything kind of like smears together, and I feel like when I put my brush in it I can never get like a precise application. So for that reason I am going to declutter it, but it is a pretty palette. It's just not really user friendly in my opinion. Anastasia Beverly Hills, we have the Moonchild Glow Kit, and I'm debating on keeping this one. I feel like I want to keep some colorful palettes in my collection, and I will keep this one actually, just to have them like on hand in case I ever want to do a fun colorful look or a Halloween look or something. I do want to keep this. I know I also want to keep the other one from her, but I do like her formula when it comes to her highlighting palettes. From Lorac, I'm going to grab this one next. This is the Luxe Diamond Golden Hour palette. Talk about pretty highlights. This is beautiful. I absolutely love their formula. I feel like Lorac is just an overlooked brand. Like they don't get enough hype. I think their products are really great, especially lately. I feel like they've really stepped up the game. But I can use this entire palette. Like I was mentioning with the other ones, for me, this one actually works well. I use these as blush toppers, and the highlight shades all actually work on me. So I am going to keep. Next, from Becca Cosmetics, I have their Be a Light palette. Now I know when these came out, a lot of people compared them to the Hourglass formula, and I do think they are kind of similar, but they're not exactly the same. It is a really nice palette, but it's very soft, which I think is the point of it. But I think for that reason, I am actually going to declutter it, just because I feel like I really have to build these up. It is a gorgeous, like light, airy type of look, but I feel like when I want that, I'm not reaching into this palette for it. So for that reason, I am going to get rid of it. We've got a highlighting palette from Makeup Obsession right here, and this one kind of bothers me. I don't know why, but the pans in here are so small, and I love when I get like a lot of bang for my buck, but I feel like for me with this one, I don't know, something about it. I feel like a lot of the shades don't work for me. Like these two I can't use, and this shade I can't use. So I feel like with the pans being so small, and then also like I can't use half the palettes, it's kind of not one that I need to keep in my collection. That same brands though, I do have their Committed palette. Now this one is a highlighting palette from them. I know I want to keep one of their palettes. Let's see, I think I have one more over here. This is the Isn't It Peachy? So let's pull that one out. So we have that option too. That one has blushes and then also highlights. I'm trying to debate between like these two. I like these highlights better. I could pull them out because it looks like these pans are removable, but I don't want to do that. So let's actually, I think I'm going to declutter the highlighting palettes because I really don't reach for like highlights as much as I do blushes, and I think I'll get more use out of the blush palette. So let's keep this one. This is the Isn't It Peachy palette. I do want to keep this one from Found Beauty. It's the Infinite Glow palette. I just like to have something on hand a lot of times from different brands, and I do think this brand is nice. It's found at Walmart, and it's a light palette, but it is a nice palette, and I do want to hold on to it for kind of YouTuber reasons. Speaking of overlooked brands, I know I mentioned Lorac, but this is another brand that I feel like needs to get into like Sephora or something, because I feel like they would be a really great seller. It's called the Complex Culture, and they have amazing products, really great brushes, and their face products are really, really good as well. So they have a couple of blush palettes. I think they show those in my blush declutter, but this one has a blush and a bronzer formula. So smooth, so buttery, so nice. They also have really pretty highlights as well, so I'm definitely gonna be keeping this one, and packaging too is very luxe and nice as well. I do have a palette here from Hourglass. This is their Ambient Lighting palette. Now, I think I had this one in my collection back in the day, and then I actually decluttered it, and somehow I acquired it in my collection again. And actually, now I really like this palette. So it's kind of funny because back in the day, like I feel like this wasn't blindy enough for me, and I was like, ugh, I don't like it. Like it's not great. But now I do see what people talk about with these palettes being just like soft, and that's kind of more what I'm into these days. So I do actually really like this. I'm glad it's back in my collection. All right, keeping it going, we've got this one here from Stilazzi. This is their Bahamas blush palette, and I honestly don't even know if this brand is like still around. I haven't seen much from them in a while, so I was debating on keeping it, but I think I'm gonna just declutter it. I have a lot of blushes. You guys probably saw my blush collection at this point, and I haven't reached into this one in a long time, so I'll get rid of it. These two palettes from MAC I've had in my collection a long time. These are Hyper Real Glows. I have this one, which is a little bit deeper, and then I have this one, which is more of like a pinky palette. I don't know, I'm like debating. I know I don't need both of them. I definitely think I can get rid of this one, actually, the Real Glow. What is this one? The Hyper Real Glow. Oh my gosh, I can't even see on there, but this is more of the pinky one. I think I'm gonna keep this one and then get rid of, like I said, the gold one. I have these two sets here from Wonder Beauty. These are the Trip for Two palettes. So I have this one here, and then I also have this one as well. These are a nice formula. I do really like them. I'm trying to see. I think I'm gonna keep this one. This is the Bellini, and then this one is the Decay, I think is how you say it. This one's a little deep for me, so I think I can get rid of that one, and I'll keep this one here in my collection. We've got the Too Faced Natural Face Palette. I know a lot of people really, really love this palette. For me, it's just okay. It's not one of my favorites. It also, I feel like it's a little bit hard to store with the clasp being so large. It's a really pretty palette though. Like the packaging is beautiful, but I'm just debating because I don't think I really have any other Too Faced like face products, palettes. I don't think I do. I'm actually gonna keep this just so I have it on hand for the brands, but I don't think I have any other Too Faced in here. I'm really surprised by that. This palette right here is probably my most used face palette right now. I love these little cheek duos from, or cheek, they're not duos, they're quads from ColourPop. This is the Extra Glazed Cheek Palette. I reach for this like nonstop. You can tell I have quite the dent in the Flexitarian highlight there, but they're really pretty. I love these. And then I also have this one here, which is a little bit deeper. This is the Sugar Frosted. This one I haven't reached into as much, but honestly, it's because it's been lost in my collection. I would like to use it a little bit more. So I'm gonna actually keep both of these. I love the packaging that it's clear. I feel like it's easy to see what it is. I wish honestly like all packaging was clear because I feel like I'm more opted to reach for things like this when I can see like what's actually inside of it. From Tarte, we have the Styled by Rouge palette. This is actually an eye palette. It does have one blush in here. I'm not sure why this is in this video, but I am gonna keep this one. I do like it. I haven't reached for it in so long, but honestly, like I loved this palette at one time, so I want to reach into it. I'm gonna put this one on my desk so I actually really use it. All right, so let's grab this one here from NARS. Up next, this one is called their Mutai Tane palette, I think is how you say it. And this one has a blush, a bronzer, and then also a highlight in it. I do really enjoy this one. I kind of want to compare it next to my other NARS palettes though, because I feel like NARS kind of gets repetitive when it comes to their cheek palettes. So let me pull out my other ones here. Okay, so this one here, this is the Orgasm X Palette. I have the Full Dimension 1 palette. And then the last one I have is an Uninhibited. This is actually a duo here. So I know I'm gonna keep the duo because I do really like this and the packaging is so beautiful on that one. So I am gonna keep that one, but I'm trying to decide between these other face palettes right here. I feel like I don't need all of these because they do look pretty dang similar. Okay, especially these two, like these first two. So I think I'm actually gonna keep this one in the middle here. This one has that more like hot coral shade. So this is the Orgasm X, so I am gonna keep that one. And then I think I'm gonna get rid of this one actually. This is the, what is this? The Mutane face palette. I'm gonna actually declutter that one. And then I'm debating on, I think I'm gonna get rid of this one as well. This one is the Hustle palette. So I don't think I need that one too. So let's declutter that one. And then I think I'm gonna keep this one. This one has a little bit more of those like neutral blushes, and it's a lot smaller too, so I'm gonna keep. From the brand Phase Zero, I have this palette right here. I believe I got this in a BoxyCharm. I have not reached for this honestly at all, so I think I'm okay to declutter it. I've kept this one in my collection a really long time from Stellar Beauty. It's mainly for this purple because I think it's so unique and fun, but I haven't used this. Again, it's one of those like more bright, fun palettes that I feel like you don't always use, but you want to keep, but I'm gonna get rid of it because I've kept it way too long. I have a couple here from Sleek Makeup. I have this one. This is called their Love Shook palette. And then I also have this one here that has some bronzer shades in it and a highlight, it looks like. I'm actually gonna get rid of both of these. I have not reached for them, honestly. I couldn't even tell you the last time, so I'm gonna actually declutter them. I'm gonna scoop myself over here closer to the palettes. I have this one from Motives up next. This is a nice contouring palette. I like this cool tone shade here in the middle. I like how small it is. I'm gonna keep that. Let's keep it going. We've got one from Wet n Wild. This is their Mega Glow Highlighting Palette, and this one has it looks like 4 different highlights in there. I really like Wet n Wild's formula. I do have a lot of these in like press form though, so I don't think I need the whole like highlighting palette, but I do think it's a good deal for $10 for those 4 shades. Becca, we had the Chloe Maliga palette. This is honestly one of my favorite face palettes in my collection. I got so much use out of this, and it's been a minute since I have reached for it, but it's such a good palette, you guys. I feel like if you can find this at like TJ Maxx or Marshalls or something, hop on it because the formula is so nice on these. If I didn't mention, this is the Chloe palette. The Maliga one is a little bit deeper and it didn't work for my skin tone, but the Chloe palette is like hands down perfect for me. Cover FX. This is called their Perfector Face Palette. I've gotten a lot of use out of this one. I actually think it's really nice. It has a finishing powder in here that's beautiful for just like all over the face. You have a blush, a contour, highlight, brightener, and another highlight in here. I really like this one. I think I got it again in a BoxyCharm. I use it quite a bit. Next from Doll 10, we have their Cheek to Chic blush palette. I do like this one. I think they have sent, I think this is discontinued now because now they have their bigger face palettes. So I feel fine actually decluttering that. And then this is their other face palette. Like this is their newest release from them, and this one has a lot more pans in it. You have like a more highlight. This one's like a little bit more pack punching, so I am going to keep this. Also, fun fact, when I did my brush collab with them, this was actually in the bathroom because it was a new release from them, and they put this like out for me to test out, so it's kind of fun to have like a product before launch. So I am going to keep that. Okay, Pixie, we have the Rach Loves highlighting palette here. I actually watched Rach Loves and I think she's really sweet, but I really haven't reached into this one. I feel like the formula is really nice though. Do I want to keep this? I don't even know if this is available. It's probably limited edition, I would guess. But it is nice. I actually think I'm gonna keep this. I'm like trying to talk myself out of it, but I've done pretty well so far, so I think I can actually keep that one. I realized I have another palette here from NARS. I thought I grabbed all of them, but I did not. Oh my gosh. Sometimes NARS packaging is so hard to open. I can't be the only one. This palette right here, I believe this was, I think it was a summer release from them maybe. You have highlights and then also, this is the Euphoria face palette. So you have highlights and then also eye colors in here. I don't really see myself reaching into this one a bunch. I know I did, I believe, a review on this collection. But yeah, I'm gonna actually declutter it. Okay, keeping it going, we've got from Ofra up next. This is their Glow Up palette, all glowed up. And in here you have a bunch of highlights from them. This is a pretty palette if you are looking to like get into Ofra's formula, but I do have all of these actually in single shadows now, or single highlights, so I don't think I need to keep that. I have one here from Bobbi Brown. I really don't have a lot from Bobbi Brown in my collection, and I will say this isn't my favorite. It's kind of like a very light palette, and I also feel like the shades just like don't pick up really well on a brush. It's beautiful when you look at it, but it's just not there like quality wise. It's not my favorite. From Tarte, I have their Skin Twinkle Volume 2 palette. I love this little guy. It's so good. It's actually one of my most used highlighting palettes, I think, and I think it's beautiful, and I use all of the shades and I love it, so I will be keeping that. Kevyn Aucoin, I have this palette here. It's actually a face and eye palette, and it has, what is it called? The Contour Book Volume 2, and you have this sculpting powder that I absolutely love in here, and then you have some other colors. Okay, I do have this other Kevyn Aucoin palette right here. This one is the Contour Book Volume 3, so I have Volume 2 and Volume 3. I don't think I need both of them. Sculpting Light. Does look a little bit deeper in this one than the other one, but I kind of like this one a little bit more. So I think I'm actually going to declutter this side. So the first book, I've had that one a long time too, and then I'll just keep this one from Kevyn Aucoin. I do have another palette here from Sleek Makeup. Who remembers when Jaclyn Hill raved about this palette? I feel like everyone and their mother went out and bought it. It's their, what is this called? The Solstice Palette. I feel like it was sold out for so long, and I was so excited when I got my hands on it because she just said this was like everything, and I loved it and used it, and I feel like it's had its time, but I am ready to get rid of it. I have a palette here from IBY Beauty. This is their Radiant Glow palette, and it is a nice one. I just don't love the bulky packaging. It has a nice formula. It's a little bit soft in my opinion, but I hate this packaging, the box packaging. I wish brands like just wouldn't do this because it just makes me not want to reach into the palette because it's so bulky, and I don't know. It's not my favorite, so let's get rid of that. Wet n Wild, we have their Pac-Man collection, and this was a fun palette. It's a blush palette. Oh my gosh, I'm not even gonna be able to get it open, but I am going to get rid of that one. That one's kind of old. And then we have the Evolution palette from Pure. I actually really like this one. It's a little trio. I actually got this. Pure did like a thing where you got like a free gift with a purchase, and I think I purchased something from their website, and you got this one, and I love it. I think it's such a good little palette, a little trio. I don't even know if you can get this anymore, but if you can, it's really good. So obviously keeping that. I have the Willpower palette here up next from, this is from the Balm. I do really like this one. It's a blush palette slash highlighting palette. These are actually more of like a shimmery blush. So they are actually really pretty on top of just like any other blush, but using them on their own is really nice as well. You have the recyclable packaging here too, so I will be keeping that. And then I have another palette here from the Balm. This is their Auto Balm Girl Power Cheeks to Go palette. This one wasn't a favorite for me. I don't love the packaging like this. These pans are pretty small and I don't necessarily love the tin of it either. So that reason I am gonna get rid of that one. From Essence, this is their Pure Nude Highlighting Palettes. So inside of here you do get 4 different Essence highlights, and I do really like their highlighting formula. I think it's really nice, but I don't think I need 4 of them. I think I have kept a single highlight from them, so I think I'm okay with that. So I'm gonna declutter that. Laura Geller, this is their Multi Lip and Cheek Palettes. Here is what it looks like. I think I probably got this in a subscription box, but I cannot tell you that I've used it since that video, probably that I unboxed it. So I am gonna declutter it. Okay, moving on, we've got something from Pacifica. It looks like this is a little duo here. It has a bronzer and then also a blush shade in there. And I think I remember really liking the bronzer, but I didn't love the blush in here. So I'm not gonna keep it just for that reason. So I will declutter it. From ColourPop, we have their Step Right Up palette. And I think this was one I just like built, maybe. It's a face duo. Oh. No, I didn't build it. It is how it is. So you have a highlight and then also a bronzer shade. The bronzer is a little bit deep for me. The highlight is pretty, but I don't need to keep it just for, I have a lot of ColourPop highlights at this point. That was way old in my collection anyways. From Iconic London, we have their multi-use contouring set. So I actually used this a bunch back when I was like contouring nonstop and I didn't have a larger collection. So it actually is really old and I need to get rid of it. It's like one of my only cream palettes, I think, honestly, that I have, but it's really super old and time to go. Stellar Beauty, I have this other face palette from them. You have highlights and then also a bronzer in here. I actually think I'm going to, again, get rid of that, and I don't use it. Okay, Flower Beauty. This one I got because Andrea Matiliano, I believe is how you say her name, was talking about this one nonstop, and I do really like it. I feel like it's a really nice formula. She definitely got me onto that, and I do want to keep it. I hate that it has like that little brush that was there once upon a time because it makes it really bulky, and I don't even know what happened to the brush, but it is a nice formula. Okay, I moved everything closer up here so we can get through the last few face palettes. This one from Huda Beauty is a little bit newer. This is her, what are these called? They're Light Glow Obsessions. She had a medium, light, and then also a deep one, I believe. And I really like this. It's a really nice highlighting formula. It actually surprised me with how much I liked it. I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I do, but it is nice, so I will be keeping that. From Pixi, we have their Pixi by Petra palette right here. It has some bronzer shades and also some highlights in here. I'm actually going to declutter this. I like the clear packaging though. I like that I can see what it is, but I don't need that. Dear Dahlia, I never know how to say that, but this is a really nice palette. It's a highlighting palette. They are a K-beauty brand. I love their packaging too. I think it's so sleek. So I will be holding on to that. One of my favorite palettes in my collection. This was a splurge for me for sure. Yeah, I definitely splurged when I bought this, but it's such a good highlighting palette. I use it all the time. I love topping these two on my blush and my bronzer, and then both of these are really pretty highlights. Clear packaging, you guys. I'm here for it, so definitely gonna keep that one. Blush Bomb. This is from Carity, and it is a blush palette. You have 2 blushes and then also a highlight. I think I'm okay to get rid of that one. Let's see what else. We have the Physicians Formula palettes. Oh no! This one is broken. This was a collaboration. I'm gonna get rid of it. It is broken, and I really haven't reached for it a bunch, so that is kind of sad that it's broken though, but Natasha Denona is her Blush and Glow palette. I like this. Okay, so I loved this when I first got it, but then I feel like these shades have kind of dried up. Like, even knowing they have that like protective cover, I still feel like they've dried up in here, which kind of makes me sad. Like this one, like literally it's like hard pan, you can't even use it. So I'm kind of bummed about that, and for that reason I am actually gonna declutter it. But I really loved this when I first got it, so that kind of bummed me out that it dried up so quickly. I don't know if I did something wrong or what, but I don't know, it's just kind of frustrating because it was such a good palette for me. And then I have the Physicians Formula All Star Glow Face palette. This is one of their newer palettes. I do like this one. It has some fun pops in here, and I like that it's a little bit thinner. It's not like the huge bulky packaging that they were doing there for a minute, so I'm gonna keep that one. Alamar Cosmetics, we have this blush palette. This is the, sorry, my camera died there, but I like this formula. I think it's really nice. I'm not sure if you got to what this is, but this is the Alamar Cosmetics Blush Trio, and yeah, I am gonna keep that one. From MAC, I have their Sculpting Palette. This is one that I've used a bunch, but I think I'm okay to get rid of it, actually. I'm trying to be a little bit better about like what I'm keeping, as you guys can tell, and I don't need that one. So Japonesque, this one is pretty. It has a blush and a highlight and a bronzer. I'm actually gonna keep this one. I think the formula is really nice, and I just wish it was a little bit thinner. It's a little bit bulky, but I've done pretty good so far. Tarte Pro Glow. I love this palette, you guys. It's so old, but it's like, it's one of my favorites. I love this sculpt shade. I love the highlights in here. This probably is dried up, but I still use it from time to time, I'm not gonna lie. I just think this is such a good palette. I love that it smells like chocolates, so we're keeping it. And then I have another one from Sleek Makeup. I didn't know I had so many. Oh, it's another cream contour. Look at how gross that looks. You can actually see like water on that. That cannot be good. That one needs to go in the trash. And then the last palette in my face palette declutter is from Anastasia Beverly Hills, and it is the Aurora Glow Kit. Would you guys believe me if you see, like you can see it right there, there is pan in this palette. Tell me how. Once upon a time, Molly was like so brave when it came to makeup, and I loved this palette. I used it a ton. And yeah, I've definitely passed that point in my life where I'm using like blue highlighter, but I do want to keep it just to have for fun. And I'm just pretty proud of myself that I put like a pan in such a bright highlighting palette. Okay, you guys, we have made it through all of my face palettes. Let me add everything up and let's see how I did. All right, here's a look at all of the palettes I am decluttering. It is 44 face palettes. I did not think I would get rid of that many, so I'm very proud of myself. 44 palettes I am pushing out of my collection, and let's see how I did with the ones I'm keeping. Okay, and then in my keep pile, I actually have 37 palettes. I did not think I kept that many. I'm kind of like kicking myself a little because I was wanting to really keep it lower. I mean, I know that's pretty good comparative. I got rid of more than I kept, but I am gonna get rid of a couple more. I'm gonna throw out this one here from Found Beauty, so we'll declutter that one. So it puts us at 45 and 35. And let's go ahead and get rid of this Rachel Love one as well, because I was kind of on the fence about that one. So that'll put us at 46 and 34. And then let's see if there's any other ones I feel good about decluttering. I don't want to declutter just for the sake of it, but I also like don't want to have too many ones that I like won't use. I honestly think I'm okay with everything else that I kept. I think I'll get used out of it. So we are going to, what did I say, 46 I think I got rid of, and then 34 I am keeping. You guys will have to let me know down below how you thought I did with this one. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe to check out the rest of my declutters, and I also have a playlist too, so if you want to head over there and look at that, you are more than welcome. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!